Cardano, Caspa, and ICP, or Bitcoin. You have a hold for 6 months and you have a hold for 6 years. What does your portfolio look like? We're going to share what our portfolios would look like in those scenarios. Also, where are we headed to first? Are we headed down to 52K for Bitcoin first or 70K for Bitcoin first? We have some analytics and metrics to share with you that might help sway your answer one way or another. We do have a poll up in the chat. Make sure you comment on that. Also, Donald Trump has spoken. A new DeFi platform is live, and what he's planning on doing to make United States of America the crypto capital of the world. What does that mean? Well, markets pump on this news. GDP numbers are out. Are they good? Are they bad? What does it mean for the market as the election draws closer? We're going to take a look at the rest of the altcoin markets. We have some big Aave news to share with you, and Ethereum breaks a more than 7-day streak of negative flows for the ETF. Are we going to see a big rally in the price of ETH? Are we going to see sub $3,000 over the next 3 days? Are we going to break that $3,000 threshold? We'll have that conversation and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel, we take old, boring, stale information, repackage that thing up in a fun, I drank way too many coffees kind of way.
Again, huh?
You know, I had coffee this morning, and then David messaged me and said, hey, on the way, will you bring some coffee? And I can't just buy one coffee. I gotta get myself another one, even though I already had a double earlier. And now I'm excited because Bitcoin is over 60K.
Should be a fun
That's the bullhorns, baby. That's the bullhorn.
I want to give a, before we get into anything, I want to give a special shout out to Mohammed in the chat. Mohammed thinks everything's going to zero, but that's okay. You know, it's his opinion. But he does comment on all our videos, and he's very active in our chat. So, Mohammed, although we don't agree with 99% of what you say, we do enjoy having you in our community. So shout out to you. Shout out to every one of you. And big thank you.
I don't enjoy Mohammed. You know what?
Why?
I don't like the narrative, bro. That's it.
You can.
You got one fan. You also got one hater.
Like I said, I disagree with 99% of what he says, but you know,
I disagree with 99% of what you say.
Look, we're in business together. Great.
Yeah, don't pick on the chat. Leave the people alone.
Yeah.
I hate David.
The Don has spoken. Leave the people alone. Okay. So, look at this.
Whoa.
Which is better? Okay. You got three alts. Three alts we talk about the most on the show. It's funny. I see comments. You should do this. You should cover this more. You should cover that more. These three coins, I can argue our Cardano playlist has more videos than any other playlist. We cover more Caspa with the team, and ICP, we do at least one video a week. Plus, we talk about it on the live show. We're going to talk about ICP on the live show today and some metrics. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Christ. And some metrics that Kyle Langham shared. But first, let's talk about a 6-month time window, okay? You have
6 months.
You have Bitcoin.
Okay.
I cannot take you serious right now.
Why?
Do you have a milk mustache? What is going on? What the fuck is going on right now, dude?
It's a latte.
Jesus Christ.
It's a latte.
Okay. 6 months. Okay. Are you holding Bitcoin? Or are you holding, but I'm not asking you to pick one of those three on the thumbnail there.
So all three
equal parts, 33%, or Bitcoin. And I want you to think in terms of, hey, one of them could super underperform, one could do really good, and one can kind of play in the middle, and Bitcoin can go to 150,000 and you make more money in Bitcoin.
I'll say this.
6 months.
It would depend on the person's expected returns. And I'm going to get to where I stand on this, but I don't think there's a wrong answer here. So I think that if you were to pick Bitcoin, I think that you are looking for modest returns. When I say modest returns, you know, maybe 30 to 40% returns on investment
In 6 months.
In 6 months, which I think is a very solid returns, right? And I think that if you know, hey, I got $10,000 here, I want 13 grand, and I want to turn 10 to 13 grand, 14 grand, and I want to do that in 6 months. And I think that is very healthy returns. especially when you look at the stock market, when you look at just investment portfolios, that is healthy, right? That's something that I have done regularly. Now, at the same time, usually during a bull market, I say, hey, 30, 40% returns. That ain't good enough for Big Rob. And so I want to generate a higher upside return. In turn, I also take more risk. And, where I've hit home runs, I've also struck out during the bull market and, maybe had my hands in the wrong platforms or the wrong projects. So it really depends. You want 30, 40% returns, or do you want returns of, what do you think 6 months would be an ideal return for the altcoins? 2x?
Those three?
Yeah. 2x, 3x? Is 3x too high for 6 month return? Okay.
2x.
Okay. So on one hand, you got 2x. On the other hand, you got 30, 40% returns.
So a 0.3x.
0.3. So yeah, I mean, it's just really what you would like. For me, I'm taking the 3 altcoins all day because I think that in the environment that we're in, with the altcoin market that we're in, the direction that everything is trending, I think that I want to take on a little bit more risk. And also, what is the downside, right? The downside is that you lose potential revenue to Bitcoin. But one thing I feel confident is that I'm not going to lose my investment. Now, I might lose potential gains from one asset to the other. So I may, all of a sudden, Bitcoin just kind of moves up slowly. Alts just delay and are outperformed by Bitcoin. It's not like I lose money. It's not like I put that 10,000 into the 3 alts and all of a sudden I'm down to $2,000. That ain't going to happen. I guess it could, but realistically, it ain't going to happen. So for me, I'm betting on the upside. There's not a lot of downside. And the only thing I'm really losing is, well, I should have been in the other one. I would have made more money. And so I don't think there's even a wrong play here. But I want more upside, so I'm going with the 3 alts. And I also think that they're all trending in the right direction. Their market movement is growing. The communities are growing. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see.
Do you believe in the life cycle of crypto? How money flows?
Yeah.
So then why would you not pick Bitcoin?
I just gave you the longest explanation of why I would not pick.
But we always talk about retail's not here. Alts pump when Bitcoin makes all-time highs. So in the shorter time period, why would you not pick Bitcoin?
In the bull market scenario, you should always side with altcoins. And there was very little time windows.
But what runs first?
But it's usually very short. It's usually Bitcoin runs first, and then literally within a day, sometimes hours, the altcoins run. We saw it in 2021. Bitcoin would go from, when Bitcoin went from 18,000 to 40, yeah, that's pretty big at 2x. But that's when you saw Cardano go from 10 cents to 70. That's when you saw Solana come from ICO to, $10. That's when you saw Solana go from that $10 to $100. And so, and it's not like Bitcoin ran, consolidated for 6 months, and then the alts finally popped off. In a bull market scenario where things are going parabolic, I have zero doubt that if Bitcoin goes to, say, $95,000, that's a 50% gain on Bitcoin. If that happens, 2, 3, 4x's out of multiple altcoins. Don't you agree? Or do you think that, are you making a case that Bitcoin's going to run up 50% and everything else is going to go up 30?
No, but I think in 6 months that sure, there'll be some altcoins that outperform. But when we're talking about these 3,
those 3 are the trending ones. That's why they're in that basket, because they're hot. They ran hot. Solana last bull market was hot and it was trending. Cardano last bull market was hot. It was trending. And so those trending tokens, when Bitcoin took off, they kept going. They didn't slow down. Look at Decentraland. It went from nothing to God knows what kind of crazy valuation.
$3.
And it kept going every time that Bitcoin would rip. And yes, there were other narratives like the Meta and other announcements that also helped it. But at the end of the day, narratives aside, when Bitcoin hit the peak and it dropped off, so did the alts. But on the way up, the alts massively outperform Bitcoin.
I'm going Bitcoin 6 months. I'm going Bitcoin in 6 months. I think we talk about retail all the time, right? Retail, altcoins are heavily driven by retail. Bitcoin has been historically, but now you have the ETFs, you have nation states, yada, yada, yada. Talk about it all the time, right? So with retail in the situation they're in now, where's the liquidity and the money going to come from to put in new all-time highs? And I think a majority of that money is going to go to Bitcoin. Now, the cycle, I think, will play out where money flows from Bitcoin to ETH and large caps, mid caps, and then the gambling stuff, meme coins, super low cap. And so for me, I'm going Bitcoin. Now, I have exposure to all 4 of those coins you see on the thumbnail there. But if we're talking about 6 months till February of next year, I'm going Bitcoin. Now, 6 years.
I actually I think what we saw with Bitcoin to ETH to alts, I think that's broken.
So when I first asked, you said yes. So now you're saying
no. I'm just on a side note. Bitcoin, the flows, Bitcoin to ETH to alts, that I think that's broken. Because last bull market cycle, when that happened, what other strong altcoins were there that competed against Ethereum? There wasn't any. That was the point. It went Bitcoin, ETH, and then everything else was developing. And I think that everything else is taking a piece or a lion's share of Ethereum's market cap and its dominance and its users. And so what I think is going to happen is it's going to be Bitcoin and then major alts. And then I don't think it's going to go to ETH next. Because before, that narrative worked before. But, I mean, think about 2021. Before, right when Solana was at ICO, it wasn't even usable, really. It had, you know, it was more of a concept, a white paper, a roadmap. Cardano didn't have smart contracts. BNB was a copy of Ethereum. And so think about it. If you made profits on Bitcoin at that time window, where else were you going to put it? And have absolute confidence. It was Ethereum. Now the game has changed. Think about this. Now you have money in Bitcoin. You make profits. You got a lot of options now. You got usable layer ones that have partnerships, utilities, communities. They have dApps. And that lies in Chainlink. It lies in Solana. It lies in Cardano. It lies in Avalanche. It lies in your protocol. And so I think that trend is broken. And so I think that you get a quicker return on other alts. And so I don't think there's this delayed factor that we had. Bitcoin to Ethereum, that takes a week after the run. And then 2 weeks later, you're going to get the altcoins below Ethereum. And then the really speculative. Like, no, I think it's going to just straight pour over Bitcoin straight to the layer ones. Straight to that ICP.
But Bitcoin comes first.
Yeah. But I think it's very short-lived. Okay, is it a coincidence that Bitcoin moved to all-time highs and Cardano at the exact same fucking time, hit 70 cents? It wasn't delayed 6 months. It wasn't delayed 3 months. It was literally Bitcoin hit all-time high, Solana hit yearly high, Cardano hit 70 cents. There was no delay there. So now all of a sudden, that entire recent model is broken.
You just said it's broken.
No, I said Ethereum. I said Bitcoin to Ethereum and then to the alts are broken. I did not say.
Well, that's a cycle.
No, I'm just saying the way money flows from Bitcoin to Ethereum. And then historically in 2021, money went from Bitcoin, people took profits and then went to Ethereum. You saw Bitcoin run, then you saw Ethereum run, and then 3 weeks later, you saw Solana, Cardano, BNB run, and then 3 weeks later, you saw all the speculative alts run. What I'm saying now is Ethereum is not the dominant king anymore. So it goes Bitcoin, and then it goes straight to the alts. We already saw that. Did Ethereum run like crazy when Bitcoin went to... Did Ethereum run faster than Cardano and Solana this year? So Bitcoin went from 40,000 to 70,000. Ethereum moved up to, what was it, $4,000?
No, like
38, 39, just shy of 4,000. The same time Ethereum ran up, so did Solana, and Solana went to 200. So did Cardano. Cardano went to 70 cents. And there was no major delay there. So I just look at what has the market been doing? The market clearly has told me that Bitcoin moves and alts move right with it. And there's no delay.
All right. I have a different. My difference of opinion lies in retail investors. I don't think retail investors are here. You talk about what's Wall Street going to do? What are the ETFs going to do when they take profits on their Bitcoin ETFs? Are they going to roll it in Ethereum? Yes, that's the only other option product available. Do you see a Solana ETF in the next 6 months? Do you see a Polygon or a Cardano or an XRP ETF in this next 6 months? Maybe not.
So you think it's just coincidence that Solana hit $200 this year?
It's not coincidence.
So, I mean, the retail's not here, but the altcoins pumped. Money moved from Bitcoin down to Solana and down to Caspa and temporarily down to Cardano. You think so? You think it was manipulated?
80% of crypto right now is manipulated, my friend.
Okay, so when Bitcoin runs again, the 80% will go back to manipulating those 30.
You need fresh money, right?
So,
you have the same amount of money sloshing around the markets now, going from one to the next. Now you have memes running on Tron.
What I'm saying, my whole point is that regardless if retail is here or not, we saw Bitcoin hit all-time high. We also saw Solana hit $200. That's what I'm saying, is that yes, retail creates that parabolic run-up, but it's not necessary. And the fact that you can have Solana hit $200 without retail is the prime example that people are willing to take profits from Bitcoin and move it into alts, whatever people that is, whether it's institution, venture capital. And we saw the flash in the pan for Solana as well. I mean, for Cardano as well. And that's all I'm saying, is that even if retail doesn't come in, alts are still going to rip. Maybe they don't hit as high as we would typically expect them to.
But outside of Solana and Caspa, what other alts have ripped like they did?
This is what I was saying. We saw the flash in the pan for Cardano.
To me, that tells me retail's not here.
They're not here. They're not. But it still shows you that the altcoins, not the entire market, have a potential to pop off. But if we see a continuation of what we saw earlier this year, that's why you need to be researched and watching channels like our own. And I'm not trying to toot our own horn here, but I'm just saying that Bitcoin hit all-time high. Okay, Bitcoin hit all-time high, guys. And 4 or 5 projects generated returns that outperform Bitcoin. And so that theory of, I got a portfolio of 20 altcoins, and once Bitcoin starts moving, I'm going to be rich. That's not going to happen. Or at least that didn't happen this year. And I question if that's going to happen later this year. And so you need to figure out, like, which ones am I going to make money on? And we've been talking about this before. There's going to be a handful of picks that are going to outperform Bitcoin. And then I think there's going to be a lot of disappointments. And so if you just are lazy and you just say, hey, man, you know what? This one ran up last year. I'm cool, man. This Litecoin thing is going to change the world. Like, you're going to lose money. Pay attention to where the money is moving, where the market is going, where the community is growing, where dApps are building. That's where you need to be positioned. And that's what we're covering. That's why we like the 3 projects that we're talking about so much. And regardless if retail comes in or not, these certain projects will pump and others will not.
Yeah, I think we're getting to the point in crypto's market where it's no longer everything, the tide lifts all boats.
Yeah.
Right? I think we're going to have to start paying more attention to what are these blockchains and projects actually doing? What problems are they looking to solve moving into the future? Because once that real money comes in, that money, we're talking 10 million, 100 million, 500 million, $1 billion. They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, we're going to put it into EOS or Dash because, well, it's down 70% from its all-time high, or we're going to put it, no. They're going to put it in projects that are solving real world problems, and every single coin on that thumbnail is going to be solving real world problems. The only thing we haven't seen from is Caspa.
Yeah.
Which, if we know anything about them, the team, which we're pretty close with.
Also, the 2021, a lot of investment money went into white papers and roadmaps. Things weren't built. Even Cardano. Now, they had a very, very beautiful roadmap, research papers, and they had come a long way. So there was a lot of indications that they were going to successfully complete their roadmap. But let's just think about it this way. In 2021, investments were off of ideas. Now things are built. We're 4 years later. The ideas have materialized. We talked about all the cool things that Chainlink was going to do. Chainlink is here, and they're building it. The products are useful. Solana, we talked about like, hey, man, their TPS and their unit and their ecosystem and all this stuff. It's here. It's usable. They got a phone. Like, there's things that you can use. So you no longer need to just simply say, hey, guys, man, this smart contract thing is going to change the world, bro. Like, you got to realize what it can do. No, you can just simply say, hey, look, people are using this chain. It's pretty popular. People are building on it. They partner with this company. Like, that's what you need to pay attention to. The days of, hey, one day we'll use this and one day my grandma can buy this picture and sell it. Like, stop it. It's here. Invest in what is material that is already here, that has been built, that people are using, and just follow the community. If you see that everybody's buying a damn iPod Touch, you see that everybody's all of a sudden like, hey, man, this iPhone's a cool thing. You don't need to buy it when the stock is released in 1988. You can simply say, hey, man, you know what? It's 1996. This thing's been out. Apple's running crazy, but there's a lot of interest here that's pretty innovative. People are using it. People are onboarding. Like, maybe I should buy something. Because if you would have bought Apple at any point in time during their revolution when they were onboarding users and they're becoming very trendy, you would be, sitting very pretty right now. And that's what I'm saying. Is that you don't need to be so early. I mean, if you happen to be early, then good for you. But don't dismiss a project being large as like, well, I missed the boat on that. Because I've heard that time and time again from Bitcoin. Oh, I should have bought Bitcoin. When it was $6,000, I'm like, man, I wish I would have bought Bitcoin when it was $300, man. You know what? My friend told me about Bitcoin when it was $500. Somebody told me about it when it was $200. Now it's $8,000. That's crazy. Don't be that guy or gal. Don't be that.
Don't be that person. You have to use gender neutral language.
Mm.
Yesterday a legend was born. Did you see this? This dude minted a Gary Gensler NFT. Said, Gary, you are officially a security. Shout out to Jakey. Pretty big voice in the Solana community.
Take the title.
He said, you're officially a security. Checkmate.
Little bald weird guy. Minted on Phantom. And so there you go. I talked about some metrics. So here's the United States of America M2 money supply. And what do you see here, my friends? We're moving up. And so anytime we see the M2 money supply, let's take a look back in February of 2020. Now, of course, this thing has been up and to the right for like since 1959. But of course, it accelerated.
Parabolic run up, man.
Yeah, you want to talk about a chart that looks real good? Is this one?
You know what? Back to the altcoin. That's what altcoins need, right? You just have a surge of money, of created money. But where's it going to go?
But you understand that when this happens, it takes time to trickle down to the retail, correct? Because money expands.
It got printed in 2020, but we didn't see the surge in speculative investments.
2021. That's what I'm saying is the money flows to banks. Then banks start to ease up on the lending, and then they lend money to people first to pay off their bills and buy cars. Then they lend them out on personal loans, and then then you start seeing airdrops and the government give money out. That's when you start seeing altcoins rip. But guess like the people that get the money first, what do they have access to? What do they want access to Bitcoin? And I'll leave it at that because I don't want to keep this conversation going. But I do want to talk about this as well. That was the U.S. money supply. This is the global liquidity that is also in the yellow, as you can see here, that is also moving up and to the right. We have China, a lot of money in China. A lot of the customers, China's facing what's called deflation. So people are not spending money. They're hoarding their fiat currencies, and there's speculation and rumors that China is going to unban crypto over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, who knows? But we know it's the second largest economy in the world. And then you had these numbers that came out. The quarter two GDP numbers exceeded their early reports as they revised the numbers up from 2.8 to 3%. Now, of course, I believe, I don't put my entire faith in these numbers. I think they're manipulated. People got to remember, a part of the GDP formula is government spending. So I think GDP naturally, because of that one thing, will always be up for the most part. But a lot of people, a lot of traders, these algorithms, these are headlines that they trade on. And all you need, especially in the crypto market, is a big bump up. Then you start seeing shorts get liquidated, just like we see with longs. Longs get liquidated, price goes down, cascading effect. Next levels get liquidated. Same thing's on the way up. Shorts get liquidated at 64,000, and then the price goes up. And then 66, 67,000, those get liquidated, and the price goes up. Next thing you know, we talk about, oh, people don't start getting into the crypto market until they start seeing on MSNBC and Fox and CNN and all these media outlets and Forbes, Bitcoin all-time high, Bitcoin all-time high. Then everyone starts paying attention, then money starts flowing in. So these are things to keep an eye on. And then as far as where we at with Fed rate cuts, 67% of traders believe that we'll see a 25 basis point rate cut in September. So something interesting to keep an eye on. And then what's been going on with BTC? 133,000 Bitcoin has been scooped up by major Bitcoin holders. According to on-chain analytics firm Sentiment, wallets holding between 10 and 10,000 Bitcoin have collectively bought an additional 133,300 Bitcoin over the last month. We also have this. It's BitcoinTreasuries.com. Currently, 11.72% of Bitcoin's total supply is held by publicly traded companies, private companies, ETFs, and countries. And you can see here, around 1 million Bitcoin is currently held, which represents 5.2% in ETFs, with BlackRock, of course, being the runaway leader. Countries, 516,000 Bitcoin. And you have public companies, private companies, and Bitcoin mining companies. Any thoughts you want to share there?
I think it's the typical metrics that we see prior to a bull market.
Look at this list.
I think it's, why do we keep showing you these? Why do we keep showing you these numbers, right? It's to give you a peace of mind that this cycle is shaping up to be very similar to cycles past. And we always talk about it like, hey, Bitcoin halving. Why do we keep saying Bitcoin halving? I mean, Bitcoin halving, it doesn't affect you, right? You holding Bitcoin, the miners producing half of what they normally do, has no actual impact on you per se. But now what it does is it creates a supply shock and blah, blah, blah. We always talk about it. But anyways, there's a pattern that pops up every 4 years that coincides with the halving. And there are all kinds of indicators here that's saying, hey, this one's going to be no different. And if we see another cycle that mirrors what we've seen before, then rest assured that Bitcoin's going to be at new all-time highs and a price that should fall somewhere between $110,000 and $300,000 per Bitcoin. And if that happens, altcoins will more than likely run. You look at a history past, and that's why we're looking at this, because I know a lot of people are questioning, hey man, you know what? This Bitcoin's been down for a while. Price has been down for a while. My portfolio's been red for way too long, but that's why we're here, man. We're showing you like it's on track. Hold steady. Don't sell.
Hold the line.
Hold the line.
And then this is a lot of speculation here. So, Michael Dell, founder of Dell Technologies, right? Been bull posting about Bitcoin, and their Q2 earnings reports come out today after market close. A lot of people are speculating, are we gonna hear news that they have exposure to Bitcoin? I think that would be pretty big. Dell's a big company. The guy's worth like $180 billion, some crazy number like that. But something to keep an eye on, potentially, if this news does drop, we should see some volatility in Bitcoin's price, assuming that volatility is going to be moving to the upside. And then I do want to share, you know what? Let's go here. I do want to share this video. This is Kyle Langham's, been on our show multiple times, talking about a key metric for ICP. Let's take a listen here.
The next slide. talk about my favorite topic, cycle burn. So obviously cycle burns is a measurement of network revenue. It's probably the most important measurement for ICP adoption and growth. You can see here I've charted the average daily cycle burn going all the way back to January 2023. I just want to highlight when you look July and August, those were both record-setting months. In fact, if you look just from August 2023 to August 2024, you see almost a 3x. And again, we still have a few more days of August 2024, so we might actually get there depending on how this month closes out. So we are seeing a significant increase in cycle burn that represents more apps being deployed, more users of those apps. I want to actually highlight summer months have been typically less cycle burned in the summer months. I guess network activity tends to drop. I don't know if that's summer vacations or what kind of drives that. Maybe developers slow down building during those months. We saw it in 2023. You can see it in the chart here. The same exact thing in 2022, where cycle burn dropped in the July, August, September months. And now you see, though, July and August this year have been significantly higher. Either people aren't taking vacations, or actually we're seeing even more, what you might say, more growth than even what this chart shows for 2024. We'll wait to see October, November to see whether or not that's true. But let's go.
So, I asked Kyle this question when we had our sit down a couple of weeks ago. Was, a lot of metrics in crypto are manipulated, right? Take a look at TPS, manipulated, right? TVL could be completely manipulated. But one thing Kyle talked about is hard to manipulate is revenue, right? Fees paid, right? And here, this chart, I mean, this is about as good a looking chart as far as growth trajectory as you can possibly say, right? I mean, just like high after high after high. And then July and August just absolutely skyrocketing. Take a look at the price of ICP, where it is right now.
Real quick, cycle burn, is that burning of tokens?
No. This is essentially revenue. It measures revenue.
Okay.
Yeah, it measures revenue from transactions.
Okay.
And dApps being deployed. And so you take a look at ICP at a $3.7 billion market cap, ranked number 23rd with a price of around $7.88. Take a look over the last 7 days. ICP is down 1.5%, down 13% on the 1 month. On the day, it is up 1.77%. What's your outlook on ICP to kind of end the year? Is there one vertical you think ICP is really going to excel at? Is it front-end hosting, or back-end hosting? Is it AI? Is it, their chain key technology, essentially integrating with Bitcoin, Solana on a layer 1 level, not using bridges or wrapped assets? What is kind of what's your thesis on ICP kind of heading into the end?
It's almost like they are a Swiss Army knife, and what really find them appealing is that a lot of this is done internally on chain.
It's all done.
Yeah, and so with minimal support from any other platforms. And I don't want to go on a limb and say they don't use anything else. I don't know for sure. I know that's kind of the narrative. Maybe they
well, the
leverage
biggest
something.
the biggest thing blockchains use, and they have to use, is a cloud service, and they don't need that.
Yeah,
everything's on the blockchain. That would be the biggest thing.
I think that's fundamentally a big draw. I think that makes them stand out. What I think would make them stand out from an investment perspective, vertical would be the AI narrative. And I think that AI running natively, if it's scalable and fast, and AI contracts or AI is operating comparable to what we're seeing from the browser-based AI services like ChatGPT, like Midjourney, 11 Labs, if they're to have a comparable product all running natively on chain to those, I think that really, really, really makes them stand out. Now, that's a massive amount of compute. I don't know if it's physically possible to have that running in the short term. Maybe that's something they're trying to do in the long term.
Well, once they upgrade from 32 to 64-bit WASM, it'll be possible.
Yeah, but I mean that's the advertisement, and for me, I think that you see, like, I saw a tour of Groks server, their warehouse, and it's absolutely gigantic. And how many computers they have, everything tied together.
That's just one. That's
Yeah.
just one LLM.
Yeah. And then you have Google, you have, and so I understand the 32 to 64 gives them a lot, but at the end of the day, you still have to process it. You still have to use some kind of computer, right? And so are they going to have enough compute to compare? Now, maybe they have the throughput capabilities, but you still need to have some kind of physical hardware processing, because you're not going to process it on the blockchain just magically in the air. You need some kind of piece of hardware that is putting together, that puts together the AI model, right? It needs to be tested over and over again. With the Tesla driving, they just put cameras on every Tesla, and then they just kept running it over and over again across all the Teslas, recording data, learning from it. And so, sure, having the capability of doing it, but you still need the hardware. So that's where execution is where they need to deliver. Now the technology's there. You can have the fastest browser in the world, but if you ain't got the computers on the back end processing the compute, then it doesn't matter, right? You can have the craziest internet speed ever. You can have all the lines ready to go, but if you ain't got the computers back there processing it, the business, that model is going to fall short compared to the ones that have warehouses and warehouses. But with that said, it is extremely promising, and maybe they do get the hardware to run these AI models. Maybe they get investment. Maybe they partner with a big company that already has compute. I don't know. Or maybe they just take someone else's model. Maybe there's a version of ChatGPT that'll run natively on ICP and use that. I don't know. I'm not well versed in that space to talk about it in a theory, but I can just say that the potential is there, and I know that no matter what, you still need the compute power. But I think that ICP, if they can get behind AI and they can do it all natively on chain and they can compete with the big boys, that is going to be the biggest vertical for them. And I think that's something that catapults them into the top 5, not even just the top 10, if they can succeed in that area.
So you think AI is going to be pretty big next year?
Let's not do this. Let's not do this.
I want to highlight a comment from our chat. So Amp Night said, I sold another 25% of my alts. Just going to wait for one final correction. So far, I've saved a good amount of money. Any comment on that strategy?
I don't know if I would sell my alts waiting for a pullback. Selling, waiting for a pullback in a bull market will bite you in the ass a lot of times. I think if you're going to sell your alts, you do it on the tail end of a bull market, right? I think when the price valuation is high, especially if it's higher than what you purchased it, if you bought let's just say you bought Ethereum at $800 and now it's at 2,000, then okay, you're not really losing out much selling at that point, trying to re-enter, but the drops are going to be hard to time, put it that way. Right? Don't you agree?
Yeah. Anyone that's tried to time the top is no.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's not that it's impossible, but if you just sold 25% of your position, this is what's going to happen. You sold 25% of your position in alts. What happens if Bitcoin next week goes to $78,000? Every single alt that you sold will now be more expensive. And then you're going to scramble to get back in because you're going to have FOMO and you're going to be like, crap. And then you're going to buy back in, and then it's going to pull back from 78. It's going to pull back down to 60. And then you're going to be right at the same price you just sold at. And then you bought more at a higher price. It's a tough strategy. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would proceed with caution. Also, from the chat, I did want to give a little love. If you are new, say hello. We'd love to give you a little shout out. Love to give you some love here to the community. I did see some new faces. We got XRP Belgium. Also, we got Neil Adams, Jerry B, Lounge, Pink Panther, Cryptophasia, Forerunner, Rusty OTF, Alex JB, Crypto Change, Bruce Joe, and then also Ron threw a $5 super chat and talking crap about ICP. But I'll take the $5 though. Appreciate it.
I was talking about someone.
Yeah. To all of you that are new, holla!
Hola.
Hola. It's like a hodl, but a hodl.
Bitcoin down.
Bitcoin's down?
Yeah, 59.2.
Oh, dang, a little pullback.
Down 2.2% on the 1 hour. Let's see the biggest losers on the 1 hour. Helium down 5% on the 1 hour. Popcat stays down. Fetch AI. This is what I think gets a lot of people wrecked, right? Is everyone anticipates and guys, oh God, like I've been trading options since 2013. Stock market, I made a lot of money there, and I lost a lot of money in the beginning because you buy into these narratives that they sell you, that news media sells you, that social media sells you, that kind of your subconscious mind sells you, is that, hey, NVIDIA reports are coming out, quarter two reports are coming out.
Yeah, they already came out.
No, I'm giving an example.
Oh.
I'll take another example. Apple's reports are coming out, guys. Oh my God, if they beat projections, I'm gonna long the tech stocks. I'm gonna long the Apple stock.
Here's a great example, real quick. Not to cut you off, just to tee you up for what you're talking about. NVIDIA shares fall despite earnings beating estimates. So that just shows you the estimates came in high or higher. They estimated, hey, the projections are here. It beat expectations and the price fell.
Down.
It just shows you exactly what you're saying.
So, and what I'm trying to say is more times than not, if you are going to try to speculate on events like this, the side you want to land on, and it's not financial advice, but this is what's worked for me, is you want to long leading up and then either keep your long and open a short position on an options trade or sell a short call or a put contract, or just short it. Just short it. Let it run up the day of, a few hours before, or when you start seeing the chart. If you're paying attention to charts, maybe a 15-minute chart, a 1 hour chart. Take like when you start seeing the buyers, the volume start to dip, those candle bodies get a lot smaller. You see some big wicks to the upside, but candle closes. It kind of tells you, yeah, this thing is probably swinging the other way, and just short it and you'll make money. You would have made money yesterday with NVIDIA. We know Dell's coming out with their quarter reports, GDP numbers. I mean, where's the stock market at right now? Let's take a look at where the stock market
Pretty flat.
Flat. GDP numbers were revised up, okay? And the Dow is at 0.54% in the green, right? S&P is down, NASDAQ is down. And so don't fall into the narrative of, oh my God, if they beat earnings, everything's gonna moon. Of course, can it? Yeah. Yesterday I mentioned, hey, if it beats earnings, the price could go up, price could go down, price went down, along with, which was leading me to this is, where the hell did that go? Is Fetch AI. Down, one of the biggest losers of the day, down 8% on the day, right? Take a look at some of the other ones. Helium, right? That's your deep in play. That's down.
But Helium ran hot and heavy lately, so I think it's just a little natural pullback.
Render, down 4% on the hour, down 8% on the 24 hours. BitTensor, these are all AI plays. Theta, AI play, right? And so, a little word of advice.
I do want to cycle back to how we opened the show, and I want to just get the chat's perspective. And we won't expand on this. We already gave you our thoughts. If you missed it, watch rewind to the beginning of the show. But what does the chat think is a better 6-month hold? I'm really curious because it's kind of weighing on me because we were at different opinions here, me and my co-host. And so, what do you think is going to outperform? Do you think it's going to be Bitcoin over the next 6 months? Put a 1 in the chat if you think you're going to get the best returns on Bitcoin in the next 6 months. Put a 2 in the chat if you think holding ICP, Cardano, and what am I missing?
Caspa.
In Caspa.
The
ICP.
keyword is and. Not
And-
one of the three, all three.
And ICP, Caspa, Cardano. Do you think the three of those together will outperform Bitcoin? Put a 2 in the chat. Put a 1 if you're behind Bitcoin. I want to see everyone put in a number here. I want to know whether the chat lies, and there better be at least 200 replies here. Thank you.
You know, there's many times where I would like to ask Rocco's opinion, but I know he's just going to side with you. So
Yeah,
Rocco,
that's my boy, man. You know,
Rocco, what's your answer here? Let me guess. The 3 altcoins?
You put me in a tough spot now. I gotta think about it because
Do I go with what I really think, or do I just agree with
I
Rob?
need to disappoint you, or go with Rob. It's okay. Going with Rob.
Seriously though, what's your vote here? What are you voting?
They're all good projects. I think so they're gonna outperform. I don't know. It depends.
6
on
months
your,
though. Remember, your time frame is 6 months.
You mean in your position? If you have this equal amount of money on each
Equal
one
amount
them?
of money right now.
Yeah, there is a good chance they're gonna outperform Bitcoin. I think so.
The 3 alts.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not dismissing the fact that you can. It's just
I think both is good. I think having exposure to crypto in a bull market, in solid crypto projects, Bitcoin or solid altcoins, I think you in a bull market you're not going to lose.
Yeah.
And so,
keyword is solid though.
Yeah, solid. And
Long gone are the days of
yeah. So
oh shit, I got EOS. I'm gonna make money. Those days are over, man.
yeah.
Still have
I
EOS.
mean,
I can
even
sell it
Litecoin.
anywhere.
I mean, ran from I think it was like $60 in the last bull market, and it went up to 200.
I think you'll make money with Litecoin.
So
It's not as much money.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
So
some.
I don't think that either one is wrong. And at the end of the day, I think in the latter half of 2025, you'll look back and you'll say, you know what? It'd have been smarter for me to be in Bitcoin for that time period. It would have been smarter for me to be in the altcoins there in that time period. So I don't think that either one is wrong. It's just it makes for an interesting conversation of where we think the market's going to go.
Robin, this is very interesting. Global payments company NCR at Leo's is launching Bitcoin Cash Out. So you can go to an ATM at one of these 30,000 ATMs and you can cash out your Bitcoin. And now, why might this be important? Well, I think the obvious answer here is taxes, right? Instead of taking it to an exchange where you're KYC'd for the most part, selling it, taking it to your bank account, having to pay taxes.
You can't get away from paying taxes.
I can just
Now you might make it that much more difficult
Robin,
for the IRS to track it.
if I have my Bitcoin on a ledger, which I don't, and I take my seed phrase,
Why are you winking like
I don't
that?
know, because the IRS, just in case they watch.
Yes, hi IRS.
I take my
Do it
I
again.
take
I'm gonna
my
do now.
my seed phrase or whatever, and I go to the Bitcoin ATM and I pull out 100K or 20K, whatever the
You're
amount.
gonna have to pay taxes, bro.
Just saying, bro.
If you try to outsmart the market, remember money went in somewhere.
Don't evade taxes, okay?
Money went in somewhere, and when you take it out, unless you plan on storing that cash under your mattress
Listen,
and
man,
never
have you ever been
spending
in a
it,
boating accident?
you
Those
can't.
things suck, dude. You lose a lot of stuff like your ledger. Anyways,
Yes, not financial advice, but advice to fraud the IRS and the U.S. government.
I just said
is
it's
to-
not do not evade taxes, guys.
Don't
Seriously.
listen to him. I normally don't say that. Actually, I do.
Do
say that quite
everything
often.
you can
Actually, I
to
do say
pay
that
the
quite often.
least amount of taxes.
Defrauding
do
the
anything
government and
illegal.
going to a sketchy ATM to take out your money and then claiming you lost your ledger in a boating accident and then slowly just layering in your money back into your bank account in the form of cash
You're using
without
buzzwords
anyone
here.
like, come on, bro.
Anyway,
I was
You
going to
come up
Puerto
with
Rico. I
with
need the
advice
money.
sometimes that
that was
I
not
agree.
advice. Did I say this is advice? I just laid out a scenario.
You laid out a very
Enticing scenario?
you laid out a scenario that can get a lot of people in trouble.
Don't listen to me, guys.
Don't listen to the scenario.
Guys,
Don't
hey
listen
guys,
to laid out.
hey guys, there is this Bitcoin
scenario
ATM
listen.
machine on the corner. You know, where we're gonna go, and then we go to everybody
Guys,
go to Puerto Rico.
If you come to Vegas, there's a pawn shop here that, without questions asked, they'll just give you cash for your Bitcoin.
Where?
okay?
You can place the
So,
bet 000, and
They take 3% off the top, and they'll also make it seem like you're buying jewelry for receipt purposes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
hey guys,
great.
I know this guy. They takes Bitcoin. They give you sterling silver.
Why do I feel like Rocco's selling wristwatches when he leaves the studio?
Shh, you weren't supposed to say anything.
Italian
Hey,
handmade
guy.
timepiece.
We have Orange Man talking crypto.
This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet. They want to choke you. They want to choke you out of business. We're not going to let that happen.
So that is the new DeFi platform, World Liberty. No idea, haven't looked into it, but Trump's in DeFi now. A lot of people thought it was going to be some sort of meme coin, but it's not. It's a DeFi platform, but it's just interesting. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? It's just, like you have a former president and his family and empire and himself too. They've kind of gone all into crypto from a narrative standpoint and from actually doing something. I'm not saying that they're doing it because they love crypto. No, obviously they're trying to make money. They're business people. Great. We're all here to make money.
Isn't that why you got into crypto initially?
No, I know. I'm not knocking him for it.
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
saying.
but I'm just kind of throwing out there that the biggest crypto advocates, most of them got into it because they wanted to make money, and then
99% of people.
yeah, and then later on, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty. The world needs this. That's what you end up, saying later on after you figure out, like, oh, it's not just a vehicle to make money. It's actual useful technology that is fundamentally better than what we have currently. And so, will we see the same out of Donald Trump? Will Donald Trump all of a sudden be like, hey man, let's run this DeFi platform. Let's sell these NFTs. Let's get American voters behind us that hold crypto, and maybe through that process, I'd like to believe that at some point he's like, guys, this DeFi thing, it's
great.
It's
Great.
It actually solves real world problems. And so I would hope that happens. I think that there's actually a likelihood that it does. I mean, what do you think about likelihood of that?
I don't know who they're working with. Like, as far as I know, Trump and his kids aren't like cryptographers and developers.
But
So who are they working
most
with?
people aren't that get into crypto.
But they built a DeFi platform.
I mean, we
They
were
have some
we were
expertise.
over here,
Or at least you got to partner with
we were
someone that
waiting
does.
tables here in Las Vegas, and now we run a channel on we're experts in crypto, right? But how did we get here? So we tried to make a buck, and then later on we realized the technology. And so somebody that's already in finance that knows the intricacies of it,
But we didn't build a DeFi platform.
but we can.
But we would partner with someone because we don't know how to do it.
But this
My point.
guy knows finance. That's what I'm. That's
But he
my whole
doesn't know
point.
how to. You're missing the point. The point is, it's not like they said, "Hey, we're gonna, I don't know, a meme coin, or we're gonna partner with."
They
people.
didn't take the easy way.
We're
out.
gonna launch a
Yes.
crypto podcast. Great. Okay, cool. They built a DeFi platform. Who do they work with? Who are they working with? What are their plans? That's what I want to know before I'd say, "Oh yeah, they're gonna look to change the world." I think it's just positioning.
And a lot of responses, not 200. Shame on you that did not reply to where you think the best investment position would be. But there are a lot of new people here, a lot of new faces. So to all of you, I'd love to personally give you a shout out.
Wow.
We got Rob, we got Tizzo, Cito, Smoking Groove, the Bitcoin Realist, Leo, Jake Ray, Falco, Avanash. We got Tom Riddle, Bob Gnarly, Wee Boom, Thomas Keefe, Moonwalker, Frank A, MBA, Cadillac, Mecky N, Spartan. All of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Let's get this party started. Put an Ola in the chat. Let's get an Ola train. I'm trying to get a lot of engagement in the chat today. I'm feeling the chat. So if you're feeling today's show, if you're enjoying what you're watching, put an Ola in the chat. That's OLA. That's our slogan here. Let's see how many Olas. Please spam the chat. We normally don't like the spam, but we give you permission. Ola.
Also, if you'll be in Las Vegas next year for a Bitcoin Las Vegas, throw an extra one in the chat.
No, keep the chat simple. Ola. Just put Ola. We also got a link.
If you
Also,
are
put a one in the
thinking
chat if you're going to
today-
be in Las Vegas for the Bitcoin conference.
If you go for a walk today, put a 3.
Also, if you have a dog, put a 4.
Put a 4.
If you feed your dog human food, put a 5.
If
Trying
you don't
to
have a
get the
dog, it's
community
fine.
over here. You're giving them too many options. They're gonna lose track.
Oh, 6 is in here. What's up, 6? How you doing, bro? Long time.
Yeah,
6 Anonymous.
I bet you 6 will be here for Bitcoin Las Vegas.
Oh, we gonna party, baby.
Mhm.
Have a good time. As Rob mentioned, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, we do have a special discount for you. The link is in the description of this video, and we're gonna do something special for the people who use our code.
The code is OLA, OLA,
All caps.
Yeah, and so get your tickets now because the prices keep going up. They were like $200. Now
Vegas
they're like
it's
they're
gonna
like
be,
280
it's
now.
gonna be massive.
Yeah.
It'll be their biggest convention they've ever had. I'll put it to you that way. Bitcoin Las Vegas. No one does conventions like Vegas does. Trust
It's
me.
gonna be badass,
We live here.
man.
There's a reason Rare Evo moved from Colorado to here, and that this was their most successful event. All right, let's talk about this. Spot Ethereum ETFs end their 9-day outflow streak with 5.8 million in net inflows. And we can kind of argue, I guess, that ETH's price, well, it's down now, but it was up close to $2,600. Real quick, just I want to keep this thing quick. Do you see this continuing? You think we're going to start seeing more money flow into the Ethereum ETF, or you think all eyes are still on Bitcoin?
The ETF is a surge of liquidity, and if it's gonna be heavy flows every day. I mean, to the point where you got to pop open one of those boxes in the drawer in your cabinet, one that says S on there for the heavy flows, because that thing is going.
What the fuck is
This
wrong
thing
with you,
is-
dude?
like,
S? Are you referring to tampons?
I didn't want to go out and say it, but I'm just saying that, like, put them in the men's bathroom, put it in crypto.
Put
You
it
know
in
what I
the
mean?
men's- okay.
Like, it's a lot of flows are coming in. Not joking around.
Rocco,
There's a lot of flows.
Rocco, can we have a business meeting and put a limit on how much coffee this guy has? Get rid of all the damn Red Bulls in that fridge.
Okay.
I'm gonna call Starbucks and put him on that list. You know, like casinos have a list of or like gamblers that you like your family can call and say, "Hey, this guy's he's got a problem gambling." We need to put him on that
No,
Starbucks list. 'Cause
Can't take this.
what is going on?
It's probably the Red Bull.
At least he got rid of his
Yeah.
latte mustache. And then one more thing I want to talk about is Aave. As I mentioned yesterday, I bought some Aave yesterday. Super excited. Yeah, well, 2 days ago. Yesterday, 2 days ago. Either way, Aave has added a third-party integration with BlackRock's tokenized treasury token, which is the BIDL. Hate that BIDL. Aave protocol would build a new stability mechanism for its Go stablecoin by integrating its reserve modules with the BIDL token by BlackRock. Instead of retaining excess USDC liquidity, Aave will use part of the reserves to mint the safe asset-backed BIDL tokens. BIDL is an Ethereum-based token backed by short-term U.S. treasuries. Additionally, it offers a small yield to all holders, around $7 million per quarter, which is almost $30 million a year. BlackRock has already tokenized more than $500 million in T-bills through Securitize, creating one of the biggest concentration of value in RWA tokens. Man, I'm super bullish on Aave, the leader in DeFi on the biggest chain, which is Ethereum. Their stable coin, which directly affects the Aave token in a positive way. Now they're backing that with some of these tokens, essentially with treasuries. So I think it's a good thing. And so I don't know. Any thoughts on that? Like how bullish are you on Aave?
Pretty bullish, man. I think that at its core, I talk about it all the time. Never fade DeFi, especially not in a bull market.
Unless
trying
you're
to figure-
Vitalik Buterin.
Yeah, if you're looking for a vertical to get into, you're like, hey, what's going to be trending this bull market? There's always going to be a place for DeFi. What platform, what DApp has that surge of liquidity, has interest, money, growth? That I don't know, but for me, if I'm going to get exposure to DeFi, I'm going to go with the leaders in the space. Look no further than Aave, and then. You know, Juicy Waffles said the ETH ETF is as exciting as brand new Pepsi flavor.
Juicy who?
Juicy Waffles.
Juicy Waffles.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then which prompted me to say there is a new Pepsi flavor coming out. Black. I don't know what it tastes like.
Huh.
But
Is it charcoal activated?
perhaps.
Wow. Thank you for that. Wow.
Are you going to be buying Pepsi Black?
I will not. No.
Hmm.
I did do a poll. I'm going to go and end the poll and give you guys the results. So, what will happen first? Bitcoin 52K or Bitcoin 70K? And as I'm waiting for this damn poll to show up, let me refresh the page here. Looks like a majority said 52K is going to come first. Yes. No, actually, 55% of you believe we're going to see a $70,000 Bitcoin before we see a $52,000 Bitcoin. Do you agree with the chat? Come on, Moon Boy.
yeah,
Come on, Moon
I think
Boy.
so.
Yeah, I know you do. I don't. I think 52K first. But I think it's going to be a wick.
A stale take, bro. Old, boring, and stale information repackaged up in a better co-host.
Anyways, that'll do it for the show today. We got a Casper video coming out tomorrow. It'll be a good one. If you haven't seen our ADA video, go watch that. We posted that yesterday. And with that being said, Rocco? What? What'd you say?
Too fast.
Too fast? Yeah, it's okay. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. To all the new people, welcome to our community. Make sure you subscribe, ping the notification bell, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Love you guys. Peace.
See you. What do you think about Abe? Rocco!
Gotta be quick on your feet, bro.
Fast.
Big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.